There, I wanted to just give you a video because I thought it would be easier. I was thinking about doing a screenshot, and I thought, no, this will be better. So I started working with someone in the spring, and they suggested that I create a content bank. And in particular, they suggested that I do it in Trello, but I've been using Asana. And Trello, Asana, and ClickUp are kind of the three main project management, task management style tasks, tools that I've seen entrepreneurs use. And so I've had a really good experience with Asana. The person that I've been working with had a good experience with Trello. And I also know some lovely people that recommend ClickUp. So those are three tools. I have this here in Asana, and I'll show you the way that I'm using it. So I've only had this content bank since probably April, and I would say it's been one of the most valuable things that I've done. And one of the reasons why it's been really useful is because everything is visually very clear for me, and it feels very organized. So like when I'm looking for things, it feels very clear and intuitive, like where I need to go and where I need to store things. So I think it's a little bit difficult to see here. Can I change that? Maybe I can change that. Yeah, okay. I made the little window smaller. So on the left, I have a column for freebies, and these are all the free things that I have created for people. And some of them have been added into email sequences so that way people can easily sign up for them. And some of them were material that I created that I haven't yet added to an email sequence. So I just have a whole bunch of juicy stuff that I know, like, these are things that I've either gotten to my people that are set up, or I want to get set up in an email sequence, and I've already created the content. I also have a listing, and depending on where you're at in your business, some of these columns might make sense and some of them you might not need. But I have a whole bunch of paid programs and some smaller digital products. So I have a listing of those, like, just to keep track. And this is something that works, I think, exceptionally well in working with someone who's like a virtual assistant or an online business manager or other team members. That way you've got the material here, you can tell people where to go, and not everything is on your hard drive. I also have a list of email sequences. And so what I was doing was, for a long time, I was manually sharing with my email list about different programs that I had. And so in creating this particular column, I went back and I harvested some of the emails that I had sent out relevant to these different programs. That way I didn't have to rewrite stuff. So again, if you were working with someone who's a copywriter or a funnel strategist, this would be a great way to reuse what you've already done. And then I also have some things that are related to courses that I've taught, programs that I've run. So I have some content that I've thought about repurposing that I might sell in the future, standalone, or some things that, it's content from courses. So I know that they're associated with particular paid offerings, and they're a big deal. So I have a social media playbook. It's 60 pages. It's a really big deal. And so I want to make sure that I have that listed because I have a bunch of courses that I've done. And depending on where you're at in your business, it may or may not be relevant. Similarly, I also have some blog posts that I've written that were in my newsletter that I haven't put on my website. So I have a whole bunch of content that I've put out for the past few years in my newsletter. And there's a much smaller subsection of things that I put on my blog, on my website. So I have a listing of things that I want to make sure I got a lot of responses to that. I got a lot of good feedback on that, or I felt really good about it. So I want to make sure. And what I did was, let me see if I can pull this up. Some of them have it. yeah, now that's listed up there. Some of them have it. When I'm saying some of them have it, what I'm saying is some of them have a PDF printout. So I like went into my email service provider for the newsletters that I wanted to make sure that I reused. And some of these cards here have the PDF of the newsletter. The ones that I picked didn't, but that's fine. And then I have two more columns. One for testimonials. I have a folder in my email inbox that is marked feedback testimonials. But again, like trying to get myself out of the position of having everything on my desktop or everything in only a place where I'm queued up to access, so that way I can make it easier for people to support me. And then the one in the middle here is content that I want to put out. So I have had these like really juicy sparks of inspiration and things that I know that I want to share, and been like, oh, I should do that. Oh, I should do that. And it feels really good. But it also feels like, okay, not today. So I have just like a little column for ideas, things that feel really good, that I know that I'm going to do, just to remind myself, because for a period of time, if I wasn't putting it in Asana, it was going on my Google Calendar, and I'm trying to get away from that because it drives me fucking wild. It makes me feel really disorganized. Okay, so I hope that helps.